Why did my husband let me smile through a work brunch and then make a receptionist call my name like it was a warning? How did one innocent dance on our 10th anniversary turn into papers served in public, with people watching my face change? I kept saying it was just a moment, until the result hit the same day. My name is Gwendolen Clarke, but everyone calls me Gwen. I was 34, and I worked as an event coordinator for a software company in downtown Vancouver. I always said my job was simple. I made rooms look like stories. I made people feel important. I knew how to create a moment that others would talk about the next morning. That night was our 10th wedding anniversary. Elliot and I had been married since we were young and broke and full of plans. Now we had 2 kids, Mia and Noah, and we had routines. Elliot loved routines. He loved calm. He loved quiet dinners and early mornings. I told people he was solid, like a wall. I also told people a wall could feel like a cage. I picked the rooftop restaurant because it looked expensive without being too loud. I booked it weeks early. I chose a table near the glass railing, with city lights behind us. I said it was romantic. I also knew it would look good in photos. Elliot arrived on time, wearing the navy jacket I bought him last year. He kissed my cheek and asked if I was happy. I said I was, but I also said he seemed tense. He asked what I meant. I said he always looked tense in public, like he did not know how to enjoy himself. He pulled my chair out and asked about the kids. I said they were fine at my sister Lydia's place for the night. He asked if Lydia was okay with it. I said Lydia loved being the fun aunt. Elliot nodded. He tried to smile, but it was small. The waiter brought sparkling water. Elliot asked if we could keep the phones away for dinner. I said I agreed, and I even put my phone face down. But I did not turn it off. I never turned it off. I told myself I needed to be reachable because of work. I told myself that made me responsible. Elliot asked how my week had been. I said it was busy and successful. I said my company finally noticed how much I did. I said people respected me because I delivered results. Elliot said he was proud of me. He asked if I could also be present with him tonight. I said I was present, but I also said he was already looking for a problem. Then the host came over and congratulated me for planning a big company event. The host said it like a celebration, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Elliot looked confused. He asked why the host was congratulating me. I said it was normal, and I said Elliot should not take everything personally. I saw a familiar figure near the bar. Damian Cross. My boss. He was tall and smooth, and always looked like he stepped out of a magazine. He saw me and lifted his hand like he owned the air. I felt my face get warm, and I liked it. Elliot noticed my attention shift. He asked who I was looking at. I said it was no one, and then I admitted it was Damian. Elliot's jaw tightened. He asked why my boss was here on our anniversary. I said it was a public restaurant, and I said he was allowed to exist in the same city. Damian walked over with that easy smile. He said hello to Elliot like he was being polite, but his eyes stayed on me longer. He said he did not know I would be here. I said it was fine. Elliot asked Damian if he needed something from me. Damian said it was just a friendly hello, and that he appreciated my hard work. I watched the way the waiter reacted to Damian, like Damian was important. I watched Elliot watch it too. Damian said he wanted to send something to our table, just a small gift. Elliot started to refuse. Damian looked surprised, like Elliot was rude. I jumped in fast. I said it was harmless and it would be impolite to refuse. I said it was just one drink and we were celebrating. Elliot looked at me and asked if I wanted it. I said yes. When the drink arrived, Damian lifted his glass from a distance and nodded at me. I felt chosen. I told myself it was a normal work thing. I told myself I earned that attention. I did not tell myself how much I wanted it. Elliot leaned closer and asked if Damian often did things like this. I said no, but I also said Elliot was acting jealous. Elliot said he was not jealous. He said he felt disrespected. I said that word, disrespected, was dramatic. I said, Respect followed results, and I had results. I took a photo of the view and my drink. I posted it on my story with a simple caption about anniversaries and city lights. Elliot saw me do it. He asked why I needed to post. I said it was just a memory. He asked why I could not keep a memory for us. I said he was trying to control how I enjoyed my life. Dinner continued, but the air changed. Elliot tried to talk about our first apartment and the years we built. I listened, but only halfway. My phone buzzed once, soft, under the table. I did not pick it up. I waited. I liked the suspense more than the message. On the way home, Elliot drove with both hands on the wheel. He asked if we could talk. I said we were talking. He said he meant a real talk. I sighed like he was exhausting me. I said he was choosing a fight on our anniversary. At home, I went straight to the kitchen to pour water. Elliot followed and asked why I defended Damian so fast. I said Damian was my boss, and I was professional. Elliot asked if professionalism meant flirting in front of him. I said no one flirted. I said Elliot imagined things because he had insecurity. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Elliot asked if I liked the attention. I said everyone liked attention. I said he should want me to feel attractive. Elliot asked why I needed it from Damian. I said it was not from Damian, it was from the room. I said Elliot never knew how to celebrate me. Elliot stood near the counter, quiet. I noticed something small then. His phone lit up on the edge of the table, and I saw a calendar reminder pop up for the next week. It said, downtown 9:25 a.m. Elliot tapped it away fast. He did not look at me while he did it. I asked what that was. Elliot said it was a personal appointment. I asked why it was secret. Elliot said it was not secret. He just did not want to talk right now. I said that sounded suspicious. Elliot asked if everything had to be a fight. I said it would not be a fight if he stopped punishing me. He asked why I called it punishment. I said his silence was punishment. I said his face all night was punishment. Elliot asked if I could hear myself. I said I could, and I said I sounded like someone who refused to accept disrespect in her own home. We went upstairs. Elliot asked if I wanted to fix this night. I said he broke the night, not me. He asked what I needed from him. I said I needed him to trust me and stop acting like a victim. In bed, I lay on my side with my phone face down on my chest. Elliot lay on his back, too still. I told myself he would get over it. I told myself I was right. I still think I was right, because I did not do anything real, not yet. Then my screen lit up again. A message preview appeared from Damian. It said he had an idea to make me shine tomorrow, and that I should wear red. I did not answer right away, but I did not delete it either. I stared at the words until my eyes felt dry, and I listened to Elliot's breathing like it belonged to someone else. The next morning, I woke up with a strange mix of pride and anger. Pride because Damian noticed me. Anger because Elliot had made it feel dirty. I told myself it was not dirty. I told myself it was normal for talented people to get attention. Elliot made coffee like he always did. He asked if I slept well. I said yes. He asked if we could talk about last night. I said we already talked. He said he did not feel heard. I said he heard me. He just did not like my answer. Mia and Noah ran into the kitchen, loud and happy. Mia asked if today was a school day. I said yes. Noah asked if we could have pancakes. I said maybe on the weekend. Elliot packed their lunches without looking at me much. I noticed it and I felt annoyed, like he was trying to teach me a lesson. On the drive to school, Elliot asked if Damian texted me after the restaurant. I acted surprised and asked why he would ask that. He said he saw my face when Damian walked away. I said he was reading faces like a detective because he wanted a reason to be mad. After drop-off, Elliot asked if I could promise him something simple. He said he wanted boundaries with Damian. I asked what boundaries even meant. He said he wanted it to stay professional and private. I said I was professional. I said he was turning a harmless work thing into a relationship crisis because he did not like sharing space with confident men. He did not raise his voice. He just said he did not want to be embarrassed again. I said he was embarrassed because he chose to be. I said no one forced him to stand there looking sad. He asked why I talked like that. I said I was honest. At the office, the open-plan floor smelled like printer toner and coffee. I liked that smell. It meant work was happening. It meant I mattered. Damian was already there, moving through desks like he belonged in every corner. He stopped at my station and smiled. He asked if I was okay after last night. I said I was fine, and I was glad he came by. He said he wanted to recognize me in front of the team. I said he did not need to, but I also straightened my posture. He called a quick huddle near the conference room. He said my name with a little pause, like it was a headline. He said I saved the last event, and he said I had taste and nerve. People laughed and clapped. I saw Sienna from HR watching with a tight face. I pretended not to notice. After the huddle, Sienna asked if she could have a quick word. I said sure, like I was calm. She walked me to the side, near the break area. She asked if everything was okay at home. I asked why she cared. She said she saw the story clip and she said it was a lot for an anniversary. I told her it was fine, and that my husband was sensitive. I said he got upset when I was successful. Sienna said she was not judging, but she asked if Damian's attention made things complicated. I said she was overthinking it. I said people always tried to make drama when a woman was doing well. She said HR did not want optics problems. I asked if I was being blamed for my boss being nice. She said she was only warning me. I smiled and said she should worry about real problems. Around lunch, Damian stopped by again. He asked if I could join the team celebration later at the hotel lounge. He said it would be good for my visibility. He asked if my husband would mind. I said my husband would understand it was work. The truth was Elliot would mind. I knew that. But I also knew I did not want to give Elliot that power. If I asked permission, he could say no. If I just informed him, he would have to live with it. I texted Elliot that I might have a short work stop after hours. He replied fast and asked what kind of stop. I wrote that it was a quick meeting with leadership. He asked if it could wait because it was a weekday and we had the kids' bedtime routine. I wrote that it was important and could help my career. He wrote that he wanted me home. I wrote that I could not build a future if he kept pulling me back. He replied that he was not pulling me back, he was asking for respect. I stared at that word again, respect, and I felt irritated. In the afternoon, I passed Elliot's name in my mind like a file label. I told myself I was the one carrying the family. Elliot had a steady job, yes, but my job had status. My job had people. I told myself that mattered more than his quiet little work. When I got home to pick up the kids after school, Elliot was in the kitchen with his laptop open. I saw a spreadsheet on the screen. No title, just rows and columns, like a private map. He closed it when he noticed me looking. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing things. I asked what things. He said household things. I laughed and said he never cared about organizing before. He said he cared now. On the fridge, I noticed a sticky note in his handwriting that said, "Bring forms." It was just sitting there like it belonged. I asked what forms. He said school forms, nothing serious. His voice was flat. That flatness made my skin itch. At dinner, Elliot asked if I was going out later. I said yes, for work. He asked who would be there. I said the team. He asked if Damian would be there. I said of course, he planned it. Elliot asked if I thought that was wise after last night. I said it was not last night's problem, it was Elliot's problem. He asked if I could at least not post. I said I could post if I wanted. He said he did not want to be laughed at again. I said no one was laughing at him except himself. He looked at his plate and stopped talking. When I arrived at the co-working cafe after hours, Trina and Lydia were already there, sitting with their phones out like tools. Trina asked how Elliot reacted to the invite. I said he was sulking. Lydia asked if he tried to stop me. I said he tried, but I would not let him. Trina said I should lean into the story. She said people respected women who did not shrink. Lydia said men needed to learn that love did not mean control. I nodded, because it felt good to have a chorus behind me. They helped me pick a simple caption for later. They told me to smile in every photo. Trina said a smiling woman always looked right. I laughed and said Elliot would hate that. Lydia said that was the point. My phone buzzed while we talked. Damian asked if I was coming and if I was wearing red. I told him yes. I did not tell Elliot about the red part. I drove to the hotel lounge feeling light, like I was floating above the boring parts of my life. I told myself I deserved this. I told myself Elliot would calm down. And if he did not, I told myself that was his choice. The hotel lounge sat on the second floor of a downtown tower, all soft lights and glass walls. When I walked in, I saw my reflection first. The red dress was not even that bright, but it pulled eyes the way a magnet pulled metal. I told myself it was just a color. I told myself Elliot was silly for reacting to a color. Damian was near the bar with 2 managers and a few co-workers. He looked up like he was waiting for me. He smiled and said I made the room better. I said he was dramatic, but I did not stop smiling. He offered me a drink. I said yes. I did not call Elliot. People started calling it an awards night, even though it was not official. Someone said we should celebrate the face of the event team. Damian laughed and pointed at me. I acted shy for 1 second, then I let the attention land. Sienna from HR was there too, standing off to the side like she did not want to be seen watching. She looked at my dress and then at Damian's hand. When he touched my shoulder for a second too long, I pretended it meant nothing. I pretended I did not notice. When the music changed to something upbeat, someone suggested a quick dance on the open floor near the windows. Damian asked if I wanted to. He did not ask in a quiet way. He asked loud enough that others could hear. I said it was fine, and I said it would be fun for the team. I remembered Elliot's face at the rooftop restaurant. I remembered him asking for boundaries. I pushed that memory away like a closed drawer. Damian led me out. The song was fast. People clapped, and a few phones lifted. Damian put his hand at my waist. It was not work anymore. It felt personal. It felt like a claim. I laughed and kept moving. I told myself it was harmless if I did not call it anything else. I told myself the cameras were proof it was innocent, because no one would record something wrong. That was my logic, and I believed it in the moment. Then I saw Elliot. I did not expect him there. I did not know he had come. He stood near the entrance, not close enough to touch me, but close enough to see everything. He looked clean and calm, like he stepped out of a different life. His eyes were fixed, not angry, just hard. My stomach tightened. I kept dancing anyway. I told myself stopping would make it look guilty. I told myself I had to finish the moment so it would seem normal. When the song ended, co-workers cheered. Damian leaned in like he wanted to say something private. Elliot walked closer and asked if we could go home. His voice was low. He did not shout. That almost annoyed me more than shouting would have. I said I was in the middle of work. Elliot asked how this was work. I said it was team culture and networking. He asked if I thought it looked respectful. I said respect did not mean hiding. I said he should be proud I was valued. Damian spoke then, smooth and calm. He said Elliot should not worry because Gwen was a star and stars needed space. Elliot did not argue with Damian. He only looked at me and asked if I wanted to leave with him. I saw people watching us. I felt the heat of their attention on my skin. I did not want to look small in front of them. I said I would leave soon. Elliot asked what soon meant. I said I did not know, and I said he was pressuring me. He asked if I understood what this was doing to our marriage. I said he was the one doing damage by making a scene. He asked if I could hear the way I twisted it. I said he was twisting it by calling me unfaithful when I was just dancing. His face did not change much. He nodded once, like he was filing something away. Then he said, "Okay." He turned and walked out. No threats, no drama, just a clean exit. That was the moment I told myself he was trying to punish me. I told myself he wanted me to beg. I told myself he wanted to look like the calm victim, so I would look like the reckless one. I decided I would not give him that satisfaction. I stayed. Trina had come by then, because Lydia had texted her about the party. Trina hugged me and said Elliot was being weird. Lydia arrived a little later, loud and bright, and asked where Elliot went. I said he left like a child. Lydia laughed and said he always needed to be the wounded one. We moved from the hotel lounge to a nearby club lounge that had a patio with heaters. The night air smelled like cold metal and perfume. Music pulsed through the glass doors. People gathered around us like we were the center of a small storm. Someone brought up the dance again and asked if it was true Elliot showed up like a jealous guard. Trina said yes, and said he did not know how to handle a confident wife. Lydia said I should not apologize for being wanted. I could have stopped them. I could have said Elliot was a good father. I could have said it was our anniversary week and he felt hurt. But I did not say that. I let them talk. I added little details that made Elliot sound worse. I said Elliot always acted like I owed him my attention. I said he treated my job like a hobby. I said he could not handle being in a room with men who had charm. I watched people nod, and I felt relief, like I was being forgiven by an audience. A co-worker asked if someone recorded the dance. Another co-worker said yes and showed a clip. In the clip, Damian's hand was at my waist, and Elliot stood in the background, still and small. The room laughed in that casual way people laugh when they are not the one being laughed at. I took the phone and reposted the clip to my story. I wrote a caption about confidence and celebrating success. I told myself it was empowering. I did not write that it was my 10th anniversary week. I left that part out because it would make me look worse. Around midnight, I finally went home. The house was dark. The kids were asleep in their rooms. I walked quietly through the hallway and saw the guest room door cracked open. A dim light spilled out. Elliot was inside, sitting on the edge of the bed with his phone in his hand. I heard a soft beep, like an alarm being set. He did not look up right away. Then he asked if I had fun. I said yes. He asked if the fun was worth it. I said he was being dramatic. He asked if I noticed how everyone watched him. I said no one cared. He said they cared enough to record. I said recording proved it was harmless. He asked why I kept using that word, harmless, like it erased intent. I told him he came there to control me. He said he came there because he had a feeling. I asked what feeling. He said he had a feeling I would choose them over him if it made you look strong. He asked if I would stop talking about him to other people, like he was a joke. I said I could talk to my friends. He asked if I also told them private things about our marriage. I said they were my support system. He asked if I ever supported him. I did not answer that. I walked into our bedroom and shut the door. A few minutes later, I heard the click of a lock. Not on our bedroom door. It came from somewhere else, lower, like a drawer in the hallway cabinet. I froze for a second and listened. The house went quiet again. In the morning, I found Elliot's side of the closet different. His shirts were lined up tighter. His shoes were placed in pairs, toes facing out. It looked like a small reset, like he wanted order where I kept bringing chaos. I told myself it meant nothing. I told myself he was just trying to scare me with silence. But when I walked past the hallway cabinet, I felt the air change, like something private had been moved behind a locked space, and I was no longer invited. The next day, Elliot did not argue with me. That was the first thing that felt wrong. He moved through the house like a guest who knew where the cups were but did not want to touch anything. He made lunches, tied Noah's shoes, and reminded Mia about her library book. He did it all with a calm face. I kept waiting for a sharp comment. It never came. I told myself his silence was a tactic. I told myself he wanted me to feel guilty without saying it. I decided I would not give him that reward. At school pickup, I stayed near the other parents instead of sitting in my car alone. I chose a spot where people could hear me. Trina stood with me, holding her phone like a shield. She asked how Elliot was acting now. I said he was using silence to punish me. I said he slept in the guest room like a martyr. Trina said men loved playing victim when women had a life. A parent I barely knew asked if everything was okay. I smiled and said it was fine, but I also said Elliot was struggling with my career growth. I said some men could not handle a wife who was visible. The parent nodded in that polite way, and I felt a small rush. I liked when strangers believed my version first. Elliot pulled into the pickup line later than usual. He parked and walked over instead of waiting in the car. He asked if the kids could go straight home because Mia had homework and Noah needed a bath. I said he was being strict. He said it was just the routine. When Mia ran out, she hugged him first. That bothered me more than it should have. I told myself it was normal. I told myself kids hugged whoever looked steady. Mia asked why Elliot looked tired. He said he was fine and said she should focus on school. His voice stayed even. In the car, Elliot asked if I was free on Saturday morning. I asked why. He said he needed to take care of personal errands. I asked what kind. He said it was practical and for the family. I said that sounded vague. He said he did not want to fight in front of the kids. I said I was not fighting. I was asking questions. He did not answer. He just turned the radio down and drove. After we got home, I suggested the park because I wanted to prove we were a normal family. I wanted fresh photos. I wanted evidence that Elliot was the difficult one, not me. Elliot agreed without emotion. That agreement also felt wrong. It felt like he stopped trying to win. At the park, Noah ran to the climbing frame and shouted for Elliot to watch. Elliot watched. Mia sat on a bench and asked if we were still going to Grandma Ruth's for dinner this week. Elliot said yes, and he said it would just be him and the kids. Mia asked where I would be. Elliot said I would be busy. I heard that and felt a sting. I asked why he was telling her that. He said he was not blaming me. He was explaining plans. I said it sounded like blame. He said he was keeping things simple for the kids. My phone buzzed. It was Damian. I stepped away toward a quieter path near the trees. Damian asked if I was okay and if Elliot was still upset. I said Elliot was acting cold. Damian said some men could not accept a woman being admired. I said that was exactly it. Damian asked if I wanted to grab coffee later in the week. I said yes. When I returned, Elliot asked who called. I said it was work. He asked if it was Damian. I asked why he kept asking that name. He said he was trying to understand what was happening to us. I said nothing was happening except Elliot acting insecure. He nodded once, like he had expected that answer. We went home, and the kids watched a cartoon in the living room. I walked into the kitchen and saw 2 mugs on the counter, placed far apart. It looked childish, like a silent message. I picked one up and moved it closer. Elliot walked in and moved it back without looking at me. He did not smile. He did not glare. He just reset it. I went upstairs and opened the hallway cabinet where we kept documents. It felt like the place that might explain his mood. A drawer was locked. I pulled it once and felt the resistance. I pulled again, harder. It did not move. Elliot appeared behind me and asked what I was doing. I said I was looking for the kids' health cards. He said they were in his desk now, for safety. I asked why he locked things from me. He said he was organizing and protecting important papers. I asked if he thought I was careless. He said he thought emotions were high and mistakes happened. That sentence made me angry. I asked what mistake he thought I would make. He said he was not accusing me of anything. He said he was trying to keep the household stable. I said he was treating me like a threat. He said he was treating the situation like it mattered. Later, I went to my mother Marjorie's condo. I needed someone on my side who would speak loudly. Marjorie offered me tea and asked if Elliot had apologized. I said no, and I said he was acting like I betrayed him when I did nothing real. Marjorie said men used shame when they lost control. She said I should not fold. I told her about the locked drawer. She said it was suspicious. She said I should take pictures of anything that looked controlling. She said I should tell people he was isolating me. I nodded, because it sounded useful. I did not tell her about Damian asking for coffee. I kept that part for myself. When I returned home that night, Elliot was at the table with his laptop open again. I saw neat folders on the screen, like a clean tree. I caught the names before he minimized the window. I saw Archive A and Archive B. I saw a folder called Bank. I saw Utilities. It looked like a person preparing for a storm. I asked what he was doing. He said he was backing up household records. I asked why he needed backups. He said it was responsible. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was being careful. His phone buzzed then. The screen lit up and I saw a missed call label. No caller ID. Elliot picked up the phone and turned it face down. I asked who that was. He said it was nothing. I asked why he hid it. He said he was not hiding anything. He just did not want to talk about it. I felt my control slip a little. I told myself I could still fix the story if I spoke first and louder. But in that moment, Elliot looked less like a jealous husband and more like someone building a wall I could not climb. The Italian restaurant was loud in the safe way, with clinking glasses and soft music that made everyone feel important. I booked the long table because I wanted witnesses. I told myself it was family bonding. The truth was I wanted a stage. My mother Marjorie came first, dressed like she was going to a showing. My sister Lydia arrived right after, talking too fast and laughing before anything was funny. Trina came with Caleb, and Caleb looked like he would rather be anywhere else. Elliot arrived last with the kids, holding Noah's hand and carrying Mia's little sweater. Elliot greeted everyone politely. He asked Marjorie how she was. He asked Lydia about her work. He even smiled at Caleb. The smile was small, but it was real. That made me angry again. I wanted him tense. I wanted him to show his true self in front of them. I wanted proof. We sat down. The waiter poured water. Marjorie started the conversation like a manager starting a meeting. She asked Elliot how he felt about my big career moment. Elliot said he was glad I was doing well. Marjorie asked if he was still sulking about the dance. Elliot said he was not sulking, he was thinking. I jumped in and said Elliot was sensitive lately. I said he acted like I embarrassed him when I was just enjoying a work celebration. Lydia laughed and said some men hated fun. Trina asked Elliot if he was going to ban dancing next. Elliot said he did not ban anything. He said he asked for respect. I heard that word again and felt my jaw tighten. I told the table that Elliot used respect like a weapon. I said he wanted me small so he could feel big. Elliot looked at me for a long second, then looked away toward the kids. Noah asked for bread. Elliot tore a small piece and put it on Noah's plate. Mia asked if we were still going to Grandma Ruth's soon. Elliot said yes, and he said they would go this week. Mia asked if I would come too. Elliot said he did not know yet. Marjorie leaned in and asked why he was talking like I was not family. Elliot said I was family, but he said plans were changing. Lydia asked what that meant. Elliot said it meant he would not argue in front of children and he would not pretend everything was fine. I felt the table shift. Caleb cleared his throat like he wanted to change the subject. I did not let him. I wanted pressure. When the food came, I started telling the story again. I described the hotel lounge like it was a funny scene. I said Elliot walked in like a security guard and acted like I was doing something wrong. I said he tried to pull me away like I was property. I watched faces react. I watched Lydia grin. I watched Trina cover her mouth like she was shocked, even though she loved it. Elliot did not interrupt. He cut his food slowly. He helped Noah with a napkin. He asked Mia if she wanted more water. His calm made me feel exposed, like I was the only one performing, so I pushed harder. I said Elliot had always been insecure. I said he never liked confident men. I said he chose a job where no one watched him. I said he wanted a wife who would stay quiet, and he married the wrong woman. I said it like a joke, but it was aimed like a knife. Marjorie nodded and said I needed a partner, not a hall monitor. Lydia said Elliot should be grateful a boss wanted to dance with me. Trina said I deserved to feel admired. Caleb stared at his plate. Elliot finally looked up. He asked quietly if I enjoyed humiliating him. I said no one was humiliating him. I said he humiliated himself by acting weak. Lydia snorted a laugh, and that sound hit the room like a slap. Elliot did not raise his voice. He asked if I would stop talking about him like he was a joke. I said I was telling the truth. He asked if the truth was that I liked attention more than our marriage. I said he was trying to make me feel guilty for being alive. He said he was not trying to make me feel anything. He said he was trying to understand what our home was becoming. I said our home was fine, and he was the one changing it. He nodded, slow, like he was closing a file in his head. Mia asked if we could get dessert. Elliot said yes. I said no because it was late and we had school tomorrow. Mia's face fell, and Elliot looked at me like he wanted to speak, but he did not. He asked the waiter for the check instead. That made me furious. It felt like he was taking control of the ending. I asked why he was rushing. Elliot said he wanted to get the kids home. I said he just wanted to punish me by ending the dinner early. Elliot said he was not punishing me. He was parenting. Outside, the air was cold and smelled like car exhaust and garlic from the kitchen vent. The kids walked ahead, holding Elliot's hands. I followed, still talking. Lydia and Trina came with me like backup. I told Elliot he was making everyone uncomfortable with his silent treatment. He said he was not silent, he was choosing his words. I said his words were always judgment. He said my words were always performance. I stepped closer and asked if he planned to leave me over a dance. He said it was not just a dance. I asked what else it was. He said it was a pattern. I asked him to name the pattern. He said I'd chased admiration and called it respect, and I blamed him for noticing. Marjorie walked up then and told Elliot he should not threaten his wife. Elliot said he was not threatening anyone. He said he was trying to avoid chaos. Lydia told Elliot he needed therapy. Elliot said he might agree, and he said he would do things the right way. That phrase annoyed me, the right way, because it sounded like he had a plan. I asked what the right way meant. Elliot looked at the kids, then back at me. He said he would not fight in public. He said he would not yell. He said he would handle it properly. His voice was calm, but it landed heavy. For a second, no one spoke. Even Lydia went quiet. On the drive home, Elliot did not look at me. He focused on the road like it was the only honest thing left. When we reached the driveway, he got out, opened the back door, and lifted Noah carefully. He carried him inside like nothing was broken. I stayed in the car for a moment, staring at the house. I told myself Elliot was bluffing. I told myself he wanted to scare me into apologizing. I told myself I would not bend. But as I watched the porch light glow on his face, I could not shake the sound of his words. He was not begging. He was not chasing. He was acting like a man who already decided where this was going, and I was the last one to know. At 9:12 a.m., I walked into our office tower lobby, smiling, when a woman in a blazer called my full name. She said she was serving me documents. I laughed and said she had the wrong person. She asked me to sign. I signed. In the envelope, Elliot had filed for divorce and temporary orders. It said the joint account had limits today, and the kids' schedule was set. I called Damian. He said he could not talk. At the courthouse Clarke window, the clerk said the orders were active now. Elliot walked past me, quiet without looking back once.